Weapons. This movie has been receiving a lot of positive feedback. At the time of recording this video, it's currently certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with a 97% amongst critics and 90% amongst audience. It also is currently sitting at 3.9 stars on Letterboxd. So does this movie live up to the hype? Well, I think it depends on who you ask. And the reason I say that is if you're going into this expecting strictly a horror movie, you might be disappointed. So I want to give you guys my spoiler-free review of Weapons, go over what I liked, what I didn't like, and my overall opinion of the film. Of course, this is my opinion. I'm not a film critic or film expert, so take that for what it's worth. So let's get into it. When I first saw the trailer for the movie Weapons a few months ago, I became very excited for the film. I thought that the concept of all the kids in the classroom going missing except for one was a really interesting one. It really intrigued me. I guess you could say that I had really high expectations for this film. So I was able to watch the movie opening night, and here are some things that I liked. To start, this isn't really much of a spoiler, but the movie doesn't spend much time at all building up to the children going missing. In the same way that the first trailer that was released had a girl narrating, this film lets you know within the first 5 minutes what happened and how the kids just mysteriously went missing and Narito ran out of their homes one night. From there, the rest of the movie is finding out why they went missing and where they went and what happened to them. By fleshing this out in the very beginning of the film, you get it out of the way and have so much more time to dive into the characters of the film and the suspense and the thrill. If you watch the trailer for Weapons, you have an idea of what the movie is about, so there's not really much of a need to spend too much time explaining that. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this movie was the comedy. Having watched the other Zach Cregger film Barbarian, I was expecting to have some comedy in this movie, but this movie had plenty of moments throughout the film that had the whole theater laughing. And the thing about that is it wasn't forced comedy, it felt like situational comedy. A lot of the moments in the film that I thought were funny worked because they felt real. It's hard to explain without spoiling, but there were scenes in the movie where characters did something and their reactions just felt like something I would do or say in that same situation. It didn't feel out of place and it just worked. It helped lighten the mood for the film. Weapons had some pretty suspenseful / tense situations, so I think it really benefited the film to have comedy in it. I did see some people saying that this was more of a comedy than horror film, and I disagree with that. At no point in the film did I feel like the comedy overshadowed the horror or suspense of the film. Speaking of suspense, that was another thing I really enjoyed about this film. Though I consider Weapons to be a horror movie, I would classify it more as a suspenseful thriller along with psychological horror. With that said, this movie did an amazing job at making me feel scared in certain moments. It did a great job at building tension and suspense. There's moments in the film where it's dark, the music is building, and you know something's coming, and it's building and building, and you know the jump scare is coming and it hits you. It's almost like riding a roller coaster. You're going up the hill, you hear clank, 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 clank. You know the drop is coming, so you're prepping for it. I don't recall many moments in the movie where the jump scares were unwarranted or just came out of nowhere. However, there was a specific scene with one of the characters where the whole theater gasped and had the same reaction. Like an oh hell no type of reaction.
Nope.
And of course I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll leave it at that. What I will say is that for me, this movie had me at the edge of my seat in certain moments, and there were times where I wanted to look away because I knew the jump scare was coming, but I forced myself to keep looking, and I'm happy that I did. I'm serious when I say I haven't been this scared watching a film in a while, and certain suspense moments reminded me of the film Hereditary. Now there was one main critique that I had about the film walking out, but I can't necessarily say that I didn't enjoy this about the film. I know that's confusing, but let me explain. So this movie, it shows you the perspective of various different characters. From the trailer, you know that the classroom teacher is one of those characters, but there's various other different characters that are tied into the plot, and you see their story and their point of view and how they tie into one another. Now the problem with this is that once you find out what's going on with the film and what happened, why the children went missing, it leaves you feeling like some of the stories weren't necessary per se. You could have probably left their point of view out of the film and still accomplished what you were trying to. Some people may see this as filler, and I could completely understand where they're coming from. With that being said, it's a 2-hour long movie, and at no point in the 2 hours of this film did I feel bored. The stories and other perspectives from other characters that you may feel were unnecessary by the end of the film, I still found entertaining. Even if they weren't important to the plot, when it's all said and done, I still enjoyed the characters, and I think that the actors did a great job. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. One of my favorite horror movies is Hereditary, and I think that this movie is up there pretty close to it. This is one of those movies where I'm really excited to give it a second watch to see if there's any details that I may have missed. For me, when I walk out of a movie theater thinking about the next time that I'm gonna watch the movie that I just watched, that's a good sign. Now, this movie is not a horror slasher, and some people might say that it's not even a horror movie at all, to which I disagree, but to each their own. I think the movie did a great job at blending horror, suspenseful thriller, and comedy elements together. With all that being said, I recommend watching this movie in theaters. It was so cool to see a lot of the people in the theater and me having the same reaction to a lot of parts of the movie. In my opinion, this movie was not overhyped, and at worst, you'll walk out of the movie theater thinking that it was a good film. Additionally, this film has me excited for the future, and the reason that I say that is that Zach Cregger is actually directing the new Resident Evil film coming out in September of 2026. Not only that, but Austin Abrams, who I actually enjoyed in this movie, is set to play one of the main characters in that new Resident Evil film. So as a fan of the Resident Evil franchise, I'm so hyped on that after watching Weapons. If you had the chance to watch Weapons, let me know what you guys thought in the comments, and while you're at it, let me know what your other favorite horror movies are. Maybe I haven't seen them yet. I would love to do a review with spoilers of this film, so if that's something that you'd like to see, let me know. There were so many details about this movie that I would love to talk about. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider dropping a like and subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys next time.